Hi, welcome to the corner. I'm Malika Cobb.
I'm Rebecca Gaines.
I'm Kennedy Ratliff.
And I'm Liz Beal.
Today we're going to talk about the diversity seminar that we went to back in October 2nd. Our speaker was Janet Mansour Dur, and she was a Spanish and English teacher for non-English speaking students. She talked to us about her experience when she was in a predominantly white Christian school, and she wondered how are they going to learn about the world. These are a few things that we talked about when we were in the seminar.
Well, we watched a video. It was called My Brown Eyes. It was mainly about a boy named June who was Asian in his school environment and how that went along. And there was a lot of pros and cons, which we're going to go over.
One of the cons is the communication. June couldn't speak English, and the teacher didn't do anything to try to connect. And when she tried to bring it up to the principal didn't really do anything. And then there happened to be a fight later on in the movie, and when that happened, the principal didn't really even make an effort to try to get hold of June's parents.
Even with all of these cons, there were some really good pros with this movie. One of the biggest things is that it brings awareness to what it might be like for a kid like June to go to an all-white school and have to deal with the things he was dealing with, because at home he was very strong. He would make breakfast for him and his parents. He would pack his lunch, and he would get himself to school on time every day.
Yeah. And there was a lot of and the teacher didn't really do anything to stop the bullying from the kids inside the classroom. She asked everyone to stand up and tell what they did over the summer. And when they did that and it got to June, he stood up and he didn't really say anything. At that moment, she stopped and she looked at him and raised her voice and said, "If you understand what I'm saying, nod your head." I think that was pretty ridiculous.
Because he couldn't speak English, so that was he didn't know what was going on.
It just drew more attention to him, and the students just kept laughing even harder.
Yeah, and it probably made him feel really bad about himself.
Right.
Especially at lunch.
He could help it.
Yeah, whenever he had that sandwich that was not traditional.
Yeah.
And they're all making fun of him because it smelled weird, and he still ate it anyways in the bathroom by himself.
Yeah.
Now, besides these pros that there were some cons in the
It's okay. We'll fix it.
Now, besides all these cons, there were some pros inside the video too. There was a pro that he was strong. He was independent. He knew what he was doing. He cooked breakfast. He made coffee. He cleaned the house. He fixed the squeaky door, and he got himself to school and back home.
And even though it ended in a fight, he ended up sticking up for himself when the kids were bullying him about his lunch.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, besides that was basically just the seminar itself. We just learned more about diversity in the classroom and how we need to, as teachers, be aware of different students and how to interact with them and still be make them comfortable and safe in classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another thing that she talked about was the game that we played. You guys remember it?
Yeah.
Where we had to pick 3 things from a chart. And the 3 things I picked were race and ethnicity, spiritual background, and economics. I'm not talking about all those things because they related to me in some type of way.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what I put, but I remember whenever they told us to take one away, I got really it took me a while to figure out which one I wanted to remove from my main groups.
Right, because when you chose the 3, it's the 3 things that made up the most of who you are, and so you can't have someone ask you to take that away because that makes up who you are as a person.
Exactly.
Yeah, and when I was left with my last one that made me was who I was, it made me sad because it was something I didn't want to be the driving force of my life.
Exactly.
Yeah, she related this all to how when people from different cultures come to America and how we ask them to change their cultural beliefs and how this was just not fair. Now, what Janet did tell us was that us as teachers, we could find a way to make every student comfortable, and I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.